Hey Chattanooga, it's your girl Sign Up K here with Brewer Media Group, and today we are spotlighting a local creator who's turning the simple act of slowing down into a powerful movement. And we have N'nako Kande right here to tell us all about it. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me.
We're here to learn all about you. You're doing something really wonderful. So we're going to jump into it now. You have created this app. It's called Silent Hour, a digital space designed to help people reconnect with themselves. I'm excited to know what was the inspiration behind this.
Silent Hour is born from a personal practice. I had a very challenging day of October 2023, and I was hiking and I needed a spot to just sit, like just learn to just sit. And it started raining, and I just sat there, just letting the rain come over me, just watching the ripple of the rain in the water. And then as I was sitting there, it just occurred to me to create a space physically first, to create a space where people could know that hiking did not necessitate a loud noise. You don't have to go play music. You can listen to nature. You don't have to worry about lugging miles. You can just find your spot and just sit there and be still, and then just let nature speak to you. So I started guiding physical hikes, silent hikes, so group hikes with a small group of people. And then eventually I turned the hike into a book. I turned the concept into a book, thinking, well, I cannot have a lot of people follow me in the forest. So what else can they do? So in the book I adapted the urban version. Like if you cannot have access to a forest or nature space if
Mm.
you own the city. How can you find a way to turn the city and all that noise into a quiet sanctuary, which sound like a total contradiction? But when you learn to be focused and when you learn to be in your zone and see your space differently, then you can kind of like tone down the noise. And then I also adapted to indoors. Let's say you are home, you cannot go outside, you're sick, you're tired, it's raining. How can you turn your personal environment into that silent sanctuary? So it started like this, and eventually, as I kept sharing the framework to my with my brother and the concept, because he's an expert in cybersecurity, it was like, you want so much to create a spatial space for people. What about we adapt this spatial space into an app? Because the way you process it is clear enough to translate it into an app. So I was like, okay, let's go for it.
One thing that you did say is that you have a space in there, a sound. You can create the space, whether it is that you want to relax outdoors or you want to be indoors, no matter the setting. And nowadays, it's definitely harder to connect or disconnect rather and have that relaxation. Why do you think that is?
We are so overstimulated, right? There's noise everywhere. There's no perfect quiet place. It's not, it doesn't exist. Even if you're in the forest, you may still hear like something in the far distance and know there's life goes on. The noise doesn't stop for you. So it's you to have to learn to stop for that silence. So I think knowing that we're not going to stop all that noise, we're not going to stop the noise, the chaos in the world. It's chaos is going to be there, right? We already know that, no matter what you do. And so that's why I feel like it's so important nowadays to be more and more disciplined and more intentional on having that quiet place for your mental health. Because if you don't give yourself permission for it, nobody's going to give it to you. You know, it's like when you say, oh, I'm going to take a nap. It's like suddenly the phone is ringing, everybody needs you. And unless you set your boundaries and put your phone on do not disturb, make clear to everybody, unless the house is on fire, don't call me, you know, unless you set that intention and build a discipline where people know not to mess with your quiet time, you're going to be dealing with chaos because people are going to keep needing you and the chaos is going to be there. So I think it's important that we understand there's some stuff we cannot control in the world, we will never be able to control. So it's up to us to create that sanctuary.
guys, the app is called Silent Hour. And I love that you are touching on the intention. And as you say, like when you try to set this time, that's when the phone is ringing. That's when your mind is racing. And before you know it, you already spent 5 minutes either talking to somebody or just even trying to calm down. And the time that you had set is just running out. So this app definitely helps with that. And it guides you. Talk about how it does guide people in that calming down when all the distractions can come about.
So different features in the app, but one of my favorite feature is the 5 phases. And then if you notice on the app, the 5 phases, which I do with real hikes, but on the app, I've adapted the 5 phases from 10 minutes to 60 seconds to 60 minutes, sorry. So what those 5 phases in real life, when you join me for a hike, there's an arrival phase. You just join me, I'm welcoming you, and I'm like, okay, this is where we are, so you can take in the space of the environment. And then when I lead a hike in person, I set the tone by giving people expectation. We're going to walk, we're not going to talk. You can have your phone to take pictures, but you cannot have your phone to be on the phone, or you know, or be texting. Just give yourself permission to just be present. And then because I'm a poet, I have a recording called The Self Love Blessing. I have an EP called The Self Love Blessing. So when I guide my hikes in person, I let people take the blessing in. They will listen to that blessing to prepare the mind. So that will be like the attunement phase. So in the attunement phase, we start walking for the forest. And oh, let's say you're in the city, you start walking for the city, but then you start taking in the different sound, because you cannot block them, but you become aware of them, so you become like a witness, an observer of what's going on. So you take in the sound in the forest. I'll encourage you to touch things mindfully, be know what you're touching, but like let your sense be activated. Feel your hands, pay attention, look at things, enjoy the colors of your surrounding, pay attention on the details. And then after the attunement phase, we get to a space, the third phase, where we are staying still. And I am a person who loves moving, so staying still is still a challenge for me. And that's where discipline and intention comes from. So you learn to stay still and you give yourself up to 20 minutes of meditation. It doesn't have to be perfect meditation, but you give yourself 20 minutes, up to 20 minutes to stay still. And after that, I give people the chance to reflect. Like some people will journal, some people in real life during my hike, some people would get up and start dancing. There's one time a lady would start dancing, like enjoying the woods so much that she was like, it was just beautiful. And after the reflection space, we will return back to we finish with a hike, and then right before the end, I ask people, okay, while we were all quiet, you got the chance to be quiet for at least 30 minutes to an hour or more. How does it feel? So that's where you go on the app. You may want to journal and share your feelings, and then the goal is for you to be able to take that feeling as information. And then as you integrate that feeling, you get to know that you know that you know that you need to do that again. You get to know that, oh my God, I didn't know that I needed that bad. And when I created, my thing was like, if I need it, somebody else is going to need it too. I don't know who's going to need this, but there got to be somebody out there that needs it. And it's been such an amazing experience for me to lead people in hikes and have women. Most of the participants will be women. It's been so amazing because women take on so much and they carry so much. And it's amazing when either it's a young lady or grandmother, somebody that's like, oh my God, I never had quiet time like this. I'm always being pulled in different direction. And I didn't know I needed that. And it's so good to your nervous system that it's one of those things, your nervous system feels so good after that, that you're like, I need this again. And that's how the practice became. That's my personal practice. And, we live in a time when people say, oh, I don't have time to slow down. But my thing is, if you don't have time to slow down, something in life will make you slow down. A sickness will make you slow down. So many of us have gone through this. If you don't slow down, your body will be like, you know what, you play too much. Sit yourself in here. You're going nowhere. And it's best to be intentional to create that space to sit down versus life throwing stuff at you when now you're stuck. And then you're stuck with all this. Not only you stuck sitting down when you don't want to sit down, but it affects you mentally. And I was a runner. I used to run a lot. And because of an injury, I stopped. And I started to understand why professional athletes lose it when they cannot keep moving, because your mind feels so good from being able to have that movement. So stillness in the silent hour and some of the feature from the 5 phases, and you can pick up any phase you want. You can say, oh, I don't want to do the atonement phase. You may decide to just do the stillness phase and the journaling phase. You pick your phase. The point of the app is that you create it for you. It's adaptable for a reason. And then you just give yourself that treat. It's a treat. You're like, you know what? I deserve to breathe for a minute. I deserve to stay still for a minute. And like the same way you never hear somebody say, "Oh, I regret taking that nap." You cannot say you regret giving yourself time for silence.
That. Now, even though it is guided, I do also like that you give people the option to customize how they want to calm down, how they want to relax. And I also agree with the part where you say if you keep saying you don't have time to slow down, something in life is going to make you slow down, and that is so true. And in addition to and also, I've even experienced this in addition to it just helping you release stress. This can also help you maintain your good health because
Mhm.
things can happen when you are always in the go, in the go, in the go, and you're breaking your body down, just always going. So, a way to pour back into you and build upon that health. And it's also described in the App Store because it's available for both Android and Apple, you guys. Making that clear, go ahead and get that. That it is a safe space. And in today's fast-paced world, what does creating a safe space mean and look like to you, no matter where you're at? Because you can use this app no matter where you're at.
If we think about some demographic, I think most some demographic are more challenged with the feeling of the same space, right? There's some demographic we don't even feel that safe when they go to work on a daily basis. There is some demographic who don't feel safe when they wake up every day just driving to the store. So it's so important to me with all the stuff that we have seen happen in the news and in real life. It's so important to know that you can create a space where you can pause for a minute and breathe. And when you see somebody panic or child hyperventilate, you tell that child, calm down, breathe, breathe. You tell them, breathe. And one thing I've learned through personal challenges is that when we learn to breathe, it's like when you learn to regulate your breath, it's like you mentally kind of slow down all the stuff that's happening around you because you're pacing your breath. And then by pacing your breath, you kind of realize that it empowers you. Because when we breathe too fast, we lose focus, we lose energy, we panic. When we control our breath, we have a better sense of power, of control, and then we know that, you know what, these things that's going on around me, I don't have to absorb it. It's happening around me, but it's not happening to me. So, what is so powerful with breathing and learning how to breathe and learning to give yourself quiet time consistently is you get to a place where you realize that you don't have to absorb all the chaos, all the drama around you. And then you realize over time that the kind of things that used to stress you out don't stress you out the same way because you have that discipline. And it's just amazing to see what consistency and discipline or something this simple can do over time. Like like you wake up one day and you're like, oh my God, I used to be stressed out about this and about that. And somebody may be like, you change, but it's not the kind of change where you have to. be so dramatic or so drastic. It's so simple, you know? And this is one thing I absolutely think is so important with a safe space. Because when you think about a child in the security blanket, you see a child when they hold that blanket or when they hold that teddy bear, that favorite toy, it's like they feel safe. That's it's like a security blanket. So I love to think of the app as something that I create and I say to people, okay, it's invisible because it's not a real physical blanket. But I want you to get a hold of this. Take a time, hold your phone, sit down, breathe, do one of the faces, look at one of the pictures from the gallery, embrace that app. And then when you do this, you feel like there's somebody out there who's rooting for you. There's somebody out there who say, you know what, it's going to be okay. I got you. Just slow down, take the time to breathe. You're safe in here with me. And this is why that safe space is so important to me. And that's why I had to even say it in the description. Like, I'm with you. I got you. You're safe with me.
On there, because I downloaded the app. I wasn't going to just come on here and talk to you about it and not use it. So I downloaded the app. One of the mottos I see at the top of the homepage was return to yourself again and again. And that is so true. Just like you said, you could come in and you're doing this over again, and finding a different place to different ways to like calm down and relax. And then also about the intention that you mentioned on the app, you guys, you can put what you're wanting to get out of this, whether it's relaxation, whether it's clarity, whether it's just mindfulness. And I love those things. So when you have all these different features now and you see the final product, during your creating phase, what was something that surprised you the most?
Oh wow. So my developer, what surprised me the most is that during the creative phase, there were two things that really touched me. It was to be able to see that what I was practicing in real life and what I put in the book could be translated into something everybody could have on their phone. That overwhelmed me with, it humbles me. I was like, oh my God, people can feel this, like it's real. And then dealing with a developer, at one point, it was like, oh my God, I understand what you're doing this, because eventually he got to test the feature, he got to practice what I'm preaching in the thing. And because it's a corporate person who live in the capital, dealing with the stress of, life always moving, it was like, oh my God, the corporate world needs this. Like, people, we are dealing with stress from project, we are dealing with stress from meeting, we are dealing with stress from deadlines. We need this in the corporate world. And then you got to say, it's so amazing that right before getting tackling a project or deadline, I can just literally get on the app, which it was developing. I can get on the app and be like, oh my God, that works. That breathing, taking those 16 seconds, because there's single patterns of breathing that you can adapt. So you can pick a breathing pattern and like just taking those seconds and breathe and say, oh my God, that works. And this is one of the things that surprised me the most, to be able to translate something into a technology and tell people, you don't realize you really have a piece of my heart with you. Like, I care so deeply about people that for somebody like me, who literally give people the shirt off my back, it means so much to know, here a gift that I offer you, please enjoy it. And that means the world to somebody like me who's a giver.
Well, you keep on giving, and I thank you so much for developing this app. I'm gonna continue to use this because I definitely struggle with disconnecting. Like, I'll be like, okay, let me just relax, put the phone down, and then we're just so programmed nowadays as time goes on to like picking up our phone. Oh, something needs to happen, or I need to look at this. It's just so instant, and you're like reminding us that it's important to slow down. So I thank you so much. This just isn't an app. Silent Hour is a book. It's a guiding hike. It's storytelling and it's healing. It's healing and it's health. So I thank you so much for creating this app and speaking with us. And I pray that it goes on to continue to help more and more people in the area. And like I said to you guys, this is available for both Android and Apple devices. So go ahead and get that now and relax. relax. Enjoy your silent time. Thank you so much, Nako. I'll be
Thank you for
speaking with you
having me.
soon. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. You have yourself a wonderful day.